the Orions. So many people have had experiences with them. I've had experiences with them. I'll say that they're one of my main connections, and other facets of myself are Orion also. So that's what I want to go into now, is the Orions. Now, people might be aware or not aware of the constellation of Orion, mostly known for the Orion's belt, or in Australia we call it the saucepan, because if you turn it upside down it sort of looks like a saucepan for cooking. There's huge connections throughout the cosmos to Orion. It's a portal area that gets you to other places. Of course, our mind is our biggest portal though. But there's a lot going on there, from the Orion Wars that happened, which I'll just go into briefly in a minute, to the different types of beings that are there, and the portals to the geometric light realms as well that are there, connected with the Elohim. It's connected throughout history as well, you know, throughout a lot of cultures, whether it's, you know, Egypt or the Native Americans, even the original people here in Australia. Everyone's got something about Orion in their stories as well, so huge connection there. Now, there's been a being that I've had experiences with, which is another facet of me in Orion, and he's an older gentleman with a beard, and he's bald on top, long hair, and he wears a blue and white striped robe. Later I come to find out that this being is actually a rainbow light being, and that is a facet of me. When I had interactions, or I've been taken or connected with that facet of me, and this is what's beautiful, is that you can connect with these other facets of you and look through their eyes, or however they perceive their reality, and connect, and you just know, you have this knowingness of everything, just like an awareness, like how we're all one consciousness interacting with itself. Everything comes down to awareness. So where he's located, even though it's a rainbow light being, when in human form, or where he resides, is actually on like a top of planet. It's not like a crystal light city though. I've had experiences with beings in past lives in those types of places as well, but the sky's purple. There's like huge flowers, they're almost like tulips, and they're like this big, these flowers, they're huge. Everything's real rainforesty. There's like, for example, it's sort of humid, but there's lots of lightning, and it's awesome, just sort of rainy weather there a lot. So that's one of the beings I interact with from Orion, which is another facet of me. Now there's also another humanoid type facet, which is actually human. Sol remembers this from our Orion and Sirius connection when she was in Sirius and I was in Orion, which these are lives really all happening at the same time, because time's an illusion. So this is where, just hold up with me here with this sort of thing. One thing I just wanted to add here was that the other me's, they're located behind Alnitak. Now in Orion's belt you've got Alnitak, Alnilam and Mintaka. Behind Alnitak, that's where they're located in an area behind there, but also behind there and just above it, if you're looking at it from the southern hemisphere, that's also one of the portal areas where the Elohim are situated. One of my main connections there, and a friend of mine is Penke from a council in Orion. Penke is sort of like an old warrior, and what's funny is when he first appeared to me, it's like this knowingness and this old friend of mine. But if anyone's seen Big Trouble in Little China, I think it's called, with Kurt Russell, those martial art experts, when they come in and there's this sort of unrealness or surrealness with them, that's sort of how Penke appears when he does appear. Very staunch, and that's what you get with a lot of the Orions. They're very staunch, they're warlike, and I don't condone any wars, but they've got a staunchness where they'll stand up for others. Another two type of Orions I've interacted with are the small and taller browns. The small ones are about 3 foot, and the tall ones are like 4 foot, maybe up to 5 foot, depending. And they're not like the greys in terms of, you hear about some, and not all greys are android-like, but some of them are, and these guys aren't like that at all. They've got their own consciousness, their own personality. The small ones have always sort of worked with a lot of the beings in Orion, and the taller ones look a lot like, believe it or not, Roger the Alien from American Dad. Whoever did that's got something going on. So, but if you can imagine him a brown colour, round black eyes, I've had experiences with him on board his craft. The craft, a lot of the time in later years, the last couple of years, it's been more of an electric blue, aqua blue light made out of energy. The tops and the corners, everything is curved in the craft. And there's been an experience with my hybrid kids where they've, like, everything's made out of this light, but yet metallic chairs appeared, and it was like the only odd thing in the room besides me and the two hybrid kids were these chairs. And I'll go into the hybrid kids in another video, so there's so much to go into, but I just want to do a little bit at a time. So but a lot of the time as well, you know, it's sort of half-half. The crafts will be like a white light with a tinge of blue to them, similar to Shiji. So that's just how the floor, the walls, the top, and you know, other crafts I've been on sort of have like a mother of pearl type effect, or like a living mushroom. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. Now, I'll go into this quickly. Another type of being is the wise one, and this is the most oldest ancient thing I've come across. It's always been that form, it's never been any other form. And he looks like E.T from the movie E.T, except his eyes are black. Sometimes he'll be wearing a purple or a brown hooded robe, and sometimes he'll have like a golden scepter, like a walking stick, a golden stick. Probably about the size of a walking stick, actually, because it goes down the ground for him anyway. He's about 5 foot with like a golden ball on top. And I've been on his crafts before, and the small Orion brown beings, they've been on this craft sometimes with him as well. He's got the biggest sense of humour ever, and it's funny because sometimes when I've been on the craft with him, it's almost like everything's dark in the craft, so I can't see sometimes what's in there. Though I've been in other rooms on the craft, and like everything's like white, the floors, like everything's completely white. It's like something out of a movie, but it'll be like he's holding a torch under him here, like, you know, in a horror movie how they hold torches under there and it shines up on their face. Now, even though he resides around Orion these days, originally he's from far, far off in the universe. Recently I communicated with him, and I was communicating to him about what Hubble Space Telescope's found, which is a 13.4 billion light years away galaxy. It's known as GNZ11, and he said now he's starting to get closer to where I'm from, but he's very ancient and wise, and it's basically where his original home is. It died out over time, and he's just continued to evolve and grow and live on. Originally, when I was asking whereabouts in the universe he was originally from, he just couldn't give me reference point, because he said even if I did give you it, you guys wouldn't be able to find it anyway at this time. So this is getting closer to where he's from, and yeah. Now, I have to also add here that there are beings in Orion that look like the Native American Indians. They're between 6 to 10 feet tall. They're huge, muscly, very fit, and so are the women. They're very fit as well. They also wear attire like the chiefs that you see the Native American Indians wearing, so that's also something I wanted to add here. And some of them are blue. They're very warlike in a positive way, in terms of they look after others, and they sort of go anywhere there's an injustice done. They're very spiritually advanced also. There's also lion and feline type beings in Orion as well. There's a lot going on there, and I'll try to cover these more in other videos. The Orion Wars, from what I remember, is there was reptilians coming in. Now, those tall brown beings that I told you look like Roger the alien from American Dad, at one time they were sort of not in line with everyone else in Orion, and they were sort of giving footholds to certain reptilian beings, Draco reptilian beings, and helping them with outposts when they came into Orion to try and take over. Very similar to what happened in Lyra. Eventually, when these brown beings from Orion shifted back, I guess they worked out, just like some of the reptilians have, that they couldn't evolve any longer going down the path that they had. They sort of went back in the groove, not like the status quo, because if there's free will and everything there if you're part of, like, I guess a council type thing in Orion, but when they went back to being part of just going, look, we can't evolve any further if we go down this route, and we're helping the Dracos, that's when the Dracos lost a strong foothold in Orion, and sort of basically that was it. Everyone lost out. All races in Orion lost out, the Dracos lost out, and it was almost like a stalemate. From what I remember is we warned a lot of people that, you know, people in Orion are very loving. It's similar, you know, energy you get with the Pleiadians down in the future timeline as well, but there's just some beings that don't take no for an answer, and that's what we were all trying to warn the councils and everyone about, was these guys just don't take no for an answer. We can sort of let them do whatever they want and let them stand over us. You know, it's almost like dealing with bullies. You sort of, you know, don't react, and sometimes they won't react, but this wasn't going to be the case. And a lot of beings on both sides were lost, all because of, I guess, reptilian mind. So, yeah. So I'll leave it there at the moment. I hope you've got something from this video, and yeah, cheers. Love, light and bliss.
Watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it.
Cheers out. I like on it. I got the other